My name is Adrian Simonis, and I'm one of the software engineers here at Rev.io. I'd like to welcome you to our dev talk on the newly remastered Sync tool. In case you're unaware, Sync is the main fashion in which Rev.io creates a link to a service in order to sync line types and inventory from a switch. The main purpose of updating Sync is twofold. First, to give clients access to an improved Sync UI with the ability to automatically match source nodes to services in Rev.io. And second, to update our internal sync data architecture to match Rev.io's standards and support future enhancements. With that being said, we created a few goals for this revision and would like to share them with you. We'd like to make it easier for clients to begin using Sync. We'd like to give clients options to create or sync items easily. We'd like to make it clear what exactly Sync is doing and why it is giving particular recommendations. We'd like to make Sync easier to develop further and expand upon, and ultimately, we'd like to make Sync easier to understand for the clients. In order to get to the newly updated Sync tool, you'll have to navigate to the Activity tab underneath Provisioning and click Sync. From there, we'll open the Sync dashboard. The first tab that you'll see is the sources. Right now we only have one source enabled, which is BroadWorks Test. It includes the created date, the status, as well as how many nodes are included. You'll find the options on the right include Reload. Although it's complete, this will set it to new/reloading, and you can delete it as well. For testing purposes, we only have one source included. If there was a second, you would see a drop-down to add more sources between the Sources tab, as well as this list. If you open the Analysis tab, you'll see the sources as well, which include the sum of how many total nodes, how many are synced, as well as a breakdown by type. You'll see the same nodes as well as synced ratio in this grid view. The last tab is the Dictionary tab, which is broken down by provider. You'll see the source fields as well as the Rev.io fields, which are essentially a mapping to what would be the different provider settings. Here we have the city. If we wanted to remove that, we'd be able to go back and re-add it by finding the source field as the city, as well as the Rev.io field, and add that mapping. If you want to learn more about a specific source, you can go to the Dashboard Sources tab and click on the hyperlink for the individual source. On the left, you'll see the legend for not synced and a green check for synced. In this instance, the nodes are not synced, and you can see on the right that there is no customer and no services. On the left, we find the source details such as the type, the identifiers, as well as the status. We can go ahead and click Create Customer then to open up a new tab linking the sync node ID and create a customer. Once the customer has been created, you'll notice that we have a recommended service to connect to. You can go ahead and use a recommendation, or we can go ahead and click Create New Service. At this point, it will ask you for the customer ID that we just created, a sample package, as well as the effective date. You can select all the data that's most relevant to you and hit Save. This will show that the new service has been created, which is the equivalent of what would have happened if we had clicked Use Recommended Service. From there, you can change the service if you'd like to, which will unlink it, and I'll show you. You can use the recommended service as well. At this point, you'll notice that our check mark has turned green, indicating that this node is synced. From there, there's two more things we can do. We can hit Sync Fields, although at this point we don't have any fields to actually sync, so nothing will happen. And also, we can bulk action match services. This will take all of those recommended services and go ahead and link them. You'll see here that it will ask to link any unlinked node to their recommended service, at which point you would say yes. Thanks for watching Rev.io's Dev Talk on the newly updated Sync tool. We hope that you will find this easy to implement as well as rich in customization. As always, please keep an eye out for Rev.io's next Dev Talk, and also please feel free to reach out with any questions as well as further review of our Sync documentation.